Olave's been suspended for this. It's rare that the Timbers get the benefit of a red card or a suspension. Is that going to have an impact on the game against Real Salt Lake?
Well, I think, when you look at Olave, he's a physical presence. They already had some injuries they were managing, so they played Wingert, who hasn't really played there much. He's played mostly outside back in his career, Chris Wingert. So it was Wingert and Olave in the last game, and now that Olave's out, most likely be now Glad and Wingert. So when you look at the matchup of Adi, his physical tools, I think that will play in a little differently than in Olave, who is a big, strong, athletic guy. But when you look at the last game with Olave in, they still gave up 3 goals. And a couple of them they got behind him. So Glad's a good player. He started the majority of the year, and he's a young kid. He's done really well. But for sure, when you look at their team, their strength is their attack. They score a lot of goals. They play aggressively. And I think when you look at that Wednesday game that they had versus LA, that's kind of an indication of their team. They score goals. They give up some goals. They play an aggressive way. We have to deal with their attacking group. Plata has 9 goals. Mavsisian has 9 goals, and Burrito has 7, and Javi has 4. So they kind of share the load between those front 4, and I would stack up their front 4 with anybody in the league. That front 4 is good, and the reason they're where they're at is that front 4 has produced goals, even when they've given up some goals and they've had some injuries in the back line. But for sure their strength has been their attack, so we have to manage that. But also, can we put some pressure on them, and can we specifically play in off Adi and try to target that matchup, and get Nagbe and Valeri underneath him, and get third man running from the other winger. So I think we can give them some problems in the attack, but for sure we have to worry about them defensively, because they got some guys that produce goals, score goals, and they give every opponent they play problems. Just like the last game when they scored 3 goals, they were down 3-1, and they came back to draw. Colorado the same. In that game, Mavsisian had 2 goals, scored a brace. They win 2-1. Last game, Plata has 2 goals, and so you can't just focus on one guy. You gotta focus on all 4, and they rotate everywhere, and they're very dynamic and clever in how they play.